The fifth card's a very important card. It's the card of obstacles. We call it Pratyara, which means averted. The things that are pushed out of your way in life. Things that quite can't come into your space. The literal meaning of the Sanskrit word is a wheel spinning with spokes spinning on an axle. And you can imagine being on one of those spokes of the wheel, and there's something on another spoke in front of you, and you're moving forward as the wheel turns, and you're moving towards that thing on the other spoke. But that spoke is also moving. So even though you're moving toward it, as fast as you're moving towards it, it's moving away. And what's literally happening here is kind of like magnets. If you get two magnets and you put them so it's north on north, the north pole of the magnet to the other north pole, it pushes it away. And if you put it on the table and as you move the magnet towards the other magnet will slip away and move away. But if you flip one of the magnets so it's south and north, then of course they go to each other. And that's what we're doing with the fifth card. Okay, so there's things in our life that the more we try, the further they go. They just keep skipping away from us, getting pushed away from us. As the wheel turns, we move towards it, we think, but it's moving away. The magnetism between us and that thing is repulsive. So as we move towards it, it moves away. The harder we try, the faster it runs away. Okay? So there's certain things in life that our magnetism is not allowing in our space. And that's the fifth card. Okay? So there's a huge battle going on to try to get that thing. It's a big fight. It's a fight for our lives, literally. Okay? This is the card of the obstacles and the overcoming of those obstacles. And that creates two dimensions. One thing is the external fight. We have to overcome these obstacles on an external level. We have to get the things that are constantly out of our reach. And that's an external battle. But the real battle is the battle that's happening inside. And that's the battle of flicking the switch on your magnetism so that by you making a shift, you basically, the thing you want, that's the North Pole magnet, and you've been a North Pole and pushing it away, you flick a switch until you become the South Pole, and then it's attracted. So the battles of the fifth card are not won. You don't win that card until you make an internal shift that changes your magnetism. And then you start attracting different things into your space. Okay? So basically, everything we're attracting in our space and repulsing is based on our magnetism. Astrology and cards works through the laws of magnetism. Okay? Even when you cast cards, why do certain cards come up? Because there's a magnetism that you have that's working with the magnetism of the symbol of the card to create a certain card to come up at a certain time in a certain spread on a certain time of your life. Okay? Just trying an external level will never help you achieve the victory that you need with that fifth card. You'll never get that fifth card no matter how hard of an external fight you make. It's not until the internal shift happens that you win the battle on the external level and things finally flow into place and all of a sudden it's done, it's over with, it's won. Okay? So this card, really, we need to focus on the inner battle first. Okay? Meaning that what do we have to avert or change or challenge within ourselves first before we can win that external thing that we've been fighting for, that we can never win. So until that inner shift happens, the fifth card is the battle that you will never win. But as soon as the internal shift happens, the fifth card is the battle that you've won. Okay? So, and one of the things about this card, it's a card of great hunger. You're hungry for that thing. You're hungry for that card. You want that card. You're hungry for it. Okay? You want to chase it. You want to pursue it. You want to get your hands on it. And you want to connect to it, whatever. But you can't until until you make that internal shift. And not only that, at the fourth card, you have some stable foundations, that you're solid and secure enough in life that you can actually start working towards the best possible future. The best possible future on this earthly plane is the 6th card. So you can't get to that best possible future until you make the internal shifts, win the internal battles of the 5th card that allows the things to fall into your place that aren't working, which are also represented by the 5th card. And after that, you can slip towards the 6th card and run with that one. Okay? So the 5th card is really important. It's oftentimes a card where you'll get hung up on. Okay? And it's often a card that people will come for you because they're stuck on that 5th card. Because when we can't make something work in our lives, what do? We go to the astrologer and the card reader and we say, when will this happen? Or even maybe, what can I do to make this happen? You know, it starts causing us questions when we keep getting our butts kicked. We start wondering, you know, looking for some magic, so we come to astrologers. So when a person comes, in respect to that 5th card, the answer is always, you know, the battle's won. You'll get what you've been fighting for and losing and not being able to get. As soon as you make the internal shift you need to, as soon as you win some internal struggle that you have to fight. Okay? So, if you have Spades on the 5th card, then you have a fight to be yourself. You literally are having this battle to fight for your life and who you are. And yes, externally, there'll be conflicts in your life that really try to keep you from being who you are. All right, you might have had parents that were really different and didn't really want you to be what you really were as an individual. Okay, but you'll have internal conflicts of people asking or demanding or, you know, seducing you into not being who you are. Okay, and the fight at some point is really the fight for your life, where you have to say, I'm going to be what I am no matter what. Okay, so you're fighting for your life, basically. This is the card where you're fighting, and when it's the spade, you're fighting for your life and your right to be you. Now, you can't win that battle. You can't attract people in your life that validate that. You only attract people into your life that try to suppress or make other demands upon you that aren't you, until you make an internal shift with yourself. And the internal shift is, you know, honoring the right to be who you are. Okay? If deep down inside you're not going to be okay with who you are and honor yourself the way you are, of course you're not going to have the magnetism to attract things that likewise honor you. Okay? Instead, you'll attract conflict. People who are saying, no, don't do that. That's not right for you to do, and so on and so on and so on. Okay? So the fight's for your life. The fight is won when you learn how to fight for who you are, because inwardly you appreciate that person. And then the fight disappears. Then the right people flow and the fight disappears. The nice thing about the 5th card, it literally works like magic. When you got two magnets with the same poles facing each other, they push each other apart. But as soon as you flick a magnet, you turn one magnet, which is your internal life, boom, they come together. Okay? You very much are working with your magnetism. And your magnetism, of course, is based on your energy. The way your energy is flowing in your body is what's creating the magnetism that makes you the magnet that you are, and which attracts the things in your life. So you can, the way you want to look at it, we're actually electromagnetic beings. Okay? Based on the flow of the energies, the electricities within us, we attract certain things, and repulse other things. So we want to repulse the things that we don't need and attract what we are hungry and do need. And the only way to do that is to make a healthy shift within ourselves, to fight, that internal fight. Now, I've talked a lot about in the past the number 8, how the number 8 is all about realizing the internal and external are reflections of each other. Okay? And the 8 card is very much the realization of that truth through experience. The 5th card is different than that. In some ways it has a similar connotation, because the inner matching the outer is just a truth that really pervades all the cards. It's just that truth comes to the biggest picture in the 8s, okay? But that truth is a prevalent truth. It applies in all realms, in all areas, in all cards, at all times. So in the fifth card, there's a part in yourself that you have to defeat, that you have to conquer, basically, that you have to master, that you have to fix. And until that part is, overcome, there's a magnetism in you that's causing things to be rejected out of your life. Okay? So, one of the ways that battle is won, and a very important part of it, is when a person starts relinquishing their ideas about themselves. So to win this little fight with ourselves, we have to start having a more accepting and innocent quality about ourselves. One of the reasons our magnetism does get distorted is because of the concepts and ideas we have about ourselves. I have to be this kind of person. I really am this kind of person. Are you really? Are you really? If your life's not working on the level of the fifth card, you're really not. Your concepts and your ideas of right and wrong, should and shouldn't, what's worth feeling guilty for, what's okay, what's acceptable, those concepts can distort the image of who we are and create a tremendous amount of pressure to be something we're not. So if we're behaving in a way that's not us, because we have these convictions that this is how I have to be for life to be okay, then we get stuck. And then our magnetism gets deranged. So a lot of the work that needs to be done is opening our minds to the possibilities of who we are and not having convictions and concepts that are bottling us up into something we're not, and thereby distorting our magnetism instead of allowing our energy just to flow and be who we are, and then through that, being the magnet that we're meant to be, that we really are, and attracting the right things into our life. So this fifth card has a lot of mystical aspects to it. It's the mystical battle, really the occult battle within yourself, to learn to be yourself on an honest and truthful level, instead of being a version of yourself that you've had, pounded into you by your parents and your parents' actions and, your societal actions and all that, or societal environment and all that. But a version of you that's free from conditioning and concepts. And concepts that you've bought into. And again, we buy into concepts because, we see our parents live a certain way and we think, I will do that or I won't do that. We start developing this, method of living that oftentimes isn't true to who we are. So that's the fight we're fighting in this fifth card. So again, if it's a spade, you're fighting to be who you are. Okay. Now, if it's a heart, you're fighting for your connections. Okay, you're literally fighting for your connections. All right. Now, if you have a spade on it, you're fighting to be yourself in your relationships, of course. But if it's a heart, you're literally will be fighting for your connections, trying to fight to get the connections you need into your life, fighting for the people in your life, even. Okay, and that fight. Well, you'll always lose that fight again until you make the internal shift on the level of hearts. Okay, so there has to be an internal battle fought about how you feel about yourself before you can attract the correct connections in your life that are validating to your life. But it has to start with your own feelings about yourself first. So that person has to really make the fight of their self-image, how they see themselves, how they feel about themselves. Okay? And until they win that fight, they'll attract connections, the hearts they attract, the connections they attract into their life, will be ones that aren't validating to them, that are demeaning to them, and so on. Okay? If it's clubs on the fifth card, you're basically fighting for success in your work. The fight is to make your work, to have a business, a job, an occupation that works, that allows you to, build a successful life, that allows you to build whatever, your reputation, your success, even your wealth. For your work, basically, to work. You're fighting for your work to work. Because the worst thing for the clubs is to make all this effort and then it fails. And they make all this effort and it fails again. And all the work is useless. So the fight is to make the work work. Now that only works, the only work that will work for us is the right work. Okay, we can't do someone else, a job that was built for someone else on this planet and, successfully. The only work we could do in this world that will work to give us peace and, satisfaction and success is the work that we're built for, that we fit, the profile for, let's say. Okay? And with the 5 there, a person's literally fighting to find the right work. They're struggling to find the right work. And they won't find the right work until they learn to see what they're suited for. And they start allowing themselves to do the work that actually feels right to them. The problem is a tendency to do the work that doesn't feel right to them because, again, of convictions and concepts and ideas that to be a good person, this is the type of work I have to do. Or to be successful, this is the kind of work I have to do. Or to please my parents, this is the kind of work I have to do. No. To be successful, you have to do the kind of work that you were built to do. And look at this whole world as this factory, let's say. And there's all these things that need to get done in this factory of the world, the work. So from a club's point of view, this is how we can look at the world. It's this factory of workers. And it's a factory that makes all kinds of stuff. And every one of us is designed to work in one particular place in that factory. And none of our places are interchangeable. Bob over there can't just, who's flipping hamburgers really happily and just loves the smell of meat, and he's just so happy flipping hamburgers all day. And me, teaching astrology, I'm really happy doing that. We can't just say, hey, why don't you take 3 days off next week, and on my day off, I'll fill in one of your days off, and then you can do that for me next week, and we'll swap workplaces. You can't do that. Then Bob would be sitting here and, telling you that Jupiter looks like a hamburger, a hamburger patty. And it's just, Mars looks like a red hamburger patty, And, it wouldn't be useful. And I'd be over there like about to retch from the smell of the meat and probably burn everything, So it wouldn't work. We wouldn't be satisfied with our results, and we wouldn't do work that satisfies anyone. So you can't trade your place in the factory. However, if you have a club there, you've probably been trying to trade your place in the factory a lot of your life because of holding on to ideas and convictions that this is the work you have to do when it's really not the work what you were made for. So you have to get back in touch with yourself and find out on an internal level what work feels right to you. What things in doing do you really have the energy, make you want to get up and put your energy and into a work project. Okay? That's what you have to discover. And once you make the shift of allowing yourself to work in the, do the work that is really, follows your natural inclinations, and you allow yourself to do that work, then boom, you can find the meaningful work. And that meaningful work will grow and escalate, and, Joe over there who's making hamburgers will eventually, have a whole chain of hamburger places, and have the, it's not like you just stay in one place. Once you find the right work, you move forward in your work. Okay? So that's what's happening with the clubs there. If you have a diamond on the 5th card, the fight is for getting your resources met, for meeting your basic material needs, for acquiring the wealth and prosperity that you need to have a decent life. Okay? And there's going to be obstacles to that. Financial ventures will fail, expenses will mount up, you'll go into debt, you just can't manage your material life. Your skills aren't, the skills you have are not getting paid sufficiently for, so you're not getting paid enough for the skills that you do have. You're not respected enough for the skills you have. So there's a lack of respect, a lack of funds, and a lack of appreciation for one's skills. That's the battle, is to be respected for one's skills and have that respect demonstrated, with financial returns, with the prosperity to live a healthy life on earth and not be in a state of financial struggle, which a diamond on the 5th card can often indicate. Okay? So the key to that is a person's self-worth. So that person has a self-worth battle to fight. Is my work good enough? Am I good enough to do this work? Okay? And with a diamond on the 5th card, you'll oftentimes see that, you'll oftentimes find that people literally won't feel worthy when good opportunities come up. Good possibilities arise, and they won't feel worthy of accepting them. They have these self-worth issues, and so they push that opportunity away. And then the opportunities they want, they'll be pursuing those with a sense of unworthiness and push those opportunities away. Or when they come, sabotage them. So they have the battle is the battle of self-worth, overcoming the concepts, the ideas of themselves that are diminishing their sense of value and worth to themselves and to the people they meet, to the people who want to love them, and to the world at large. Okay? So the person has to make an internal shift in respect to their self-worth before they stop repulsing the valuable things they want out of their lives and attract the valuable things, the worthwhile things into their lives. Remember, diamonds is always what you want. It's the worthwhile things in your life. All right? The things that are worth spending time on. The important things are the diamonds. Okay? And everyone's working towards more diamonds. Like even a spade, the person that's sitting there meditating 24/7, their goal is a concrete experience of the divine, which is, again, is a diamond on another level, on the level of spirituality. Okay? We all want our diamonds. Even like hearts want to be connected. Yes, they want to be connected, but they want to hold that person's hand. They don't want the person being on the other cross side of the world and emailing them or something like that. They want that connection, but they want it, yes, on a physical level. They want that person they're connected to close, so they can see them, touch them, etc. Okay? So all the suits are ultimately working towards something concrete. Clubs, of course, are doing business, taking activities to get a result, to get a concrete result. And that concrete result is, again, the diamonds. Okay? So, diamonds, we all want our diamonds. And in the 5th card, a person's not getting the diamonds they want because of a lack of self-worth. They have to fight the battle to regain their self-worth on an inner level. And then they'll attract the diamonds into their lives, the things they want and that are important to them, and which create a foundation for a better life. Because diamonds are not only what every suit wants. Diamonds, that every suit wants in the end, but diamonds are the foundation for building our life up to another level, to the next level. So we build a better diamond foundation, and then we go back to spades, and we do the circle again and build up again. And through that, we spiral upward, which is the hopeful ideal. So, we need those foundations of diamonds, and if they're obstructed, we have to take an examination of our self-worth and overcome that self-worth battle. Okay? So, in any reading you do for people, this 5th card will probably be important because people come to get readings, people look for astrologers, people come to YouTube looking for help because of this battle in their lives that they just can't seem to win. There's something they're hungry for and it just ain't coming. Well, the reason so often is because of the magnetism they're creating by, having this internal struggle they have to win in themselves first before they can be the magnet that attracts what they're fighting so hard for on the outside. Okay, thank you.